Feels like it took a decade, but I'm actually interested in playing a new current-gen racing game. I guess all it took were some graphic effects and a diverse selection of music. Now, I haven't played Need for Speed Unbound, and Reviews painted as a good, if a bit bare-bones game. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. Luckily, someone, while I was writing this, made the point for me, much better than I ever could. Check out this video, or in fact check out all of them, because they're superb. You will see why we feel this emptiness in our hearts when we are looking at newer racing games. I used to spend weeks religiously playing things like Burnout. I have beaten Most Wanted's Blacklist at least 10 times. And to this day, I don't understand how you can sit there and say you don't have any ideas for a new F-Zero game. I wanted to play something, but to be frank, I wasn't sure how to review a racing game and which one I should pick. Doing a video on Burnout or Most Wanted felt like doing a video on New Vegas. There's literally zero things I could say about them somebody else hasn't already said. Ridge Racer is tempting, but I never played any of them despite their cult status. Motorstorm seemed like a surefire winner, but I decided I wanted to go with something more traditional street racing. The first Forza game almost took first place. The concept of showing the evolution of today's premier sim racer was tempting. That's when I took one look at my game collection and realized I had to go back to the roots even further. I got hold of this old case of the original PlayStation Gran Turismo. My long-term memory shifted gears and I had this nostalgic flashback of playing it with my dad, unlocking new cars and marveling at the graphics. At this point we both thought racing games could never look better. Well. Like I said, I have some memories of playing the PlayStation Gran Turismo games, that is to say 1 and 2. Also, I can still remember the hype behind 5. The build-up to a real next-gen racing game. No, I wanted to see something new, so I decided to load up the good old PlayStation 2. Gran Turismo 3 Ace back and Gran Turismo 4. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's actually load up Gran Turismo 3 on the PS2. Released in 2001 by Sony's very own Gran Turismo studio Polyphony Digital, even the intro sequence has multiple flavors to it. From the mystical opening, to the almost sexual presentation of engine and car models, to the adrenaline pumping butt rock during race footage. The iconic video closes while, in a form of a capitalist nightmare, logos of car companies and sponsors involved are flashed before your eyes. It's trendsetting, and to me crazy that talented developers were able to get this much graphical finesse, effects, and little details out of the PS2 back then. You gotta appreciate this with the knowledge that games back then used to look like this. The real driving simulator. A curious tagline, probably true for better or worse. To get started, let's just check out the name-giving Gran Turismo mode. The menus, fitting the car aesthetic, are smooth and colorful, with big icons for easy navigation. It all reminds me of the interface of old GPS devices, before we all just use Google Maps. So what is the objective of this? Well, first you need to buy a starting car. Through winning races in the beginner circuit, you earn cash to tune up parts of your car, improving various stats. Through the license center's driving challenge with predetermined vehicles, you earn the right to drive in more advanced circuits with new car types, starting the whole process over until you have beaten everything with the highest rank. My Home is basically a submenu to choose between your own vehicles. Garage and machine tests are for your true car aficionados to marvel at the artworks of steel and test their true limits. Time to choose my first vehicle. I wanted to represent my home country of Germany, but I soon realized that I couldn't afford any car I actually wanted to drive. So for now, I choose the sports car of the simple man, the Mazda MX-5.
I'd buy that for $1.
Let's test our mettle at the Super Speedway circuit. This round circle isn't challenging, but it is perfect to experience the sound, the feeling, the weight of the car in turns, and the acceleration unique to each one. You really can spend your time and try to master steering each one. All of them are a unique experience on the track. As soon as I check out the second and third race, reality catch up to me. 2 tries at the second one only netted me the silver second place, and the third one, well... Thing is, I don't think I drove that bad. It felt more like my car couldn't keep up with the AI racers unless it was near perfect. After one look at the prices of the tuning shop, I quickly realized that the game expected me to redo most races for cash, something, for the sake of this video, I wasn't really keen on. That's not even a knock on the game. Racing the tracks over and over to perfect your skills, always chasing a better time, is a core aspect of sim racing. Just not something I wanted to do for this quick look. Might as well shift my focus to the time trials of the license tests. Master demanding sections without going out of bounds or crashing. I had similar success here. It took my all to get just the bronze time on most courses. Maybe I'm just not made for Gran Turismo, but I had one idea on how to get an edge on these trials. I always loved it when people show off their racing sim setups. I don't want to spend this kind of money, so I bought the cheapest PS2 wheel and pedals. Enter the Brooklyn Booster 2800. Now obviously I bought it on eBay more for kicks than for performance, but well, I am even worse using that thing. I like to think I can steer my car in real life just fine, but this feels like I'm driving on a frozen lake. The game remains immaculate though. You can feel how much the game was trying to push the PS2 racing sim genre, and if you look at the replays, I think they succeeded. Given that it sits on a 95 Metacritic rating and is repeatedly featured in top PS2 games lists, I don't think that's a controversial take. On to Gran Turismo 4. You get more of the same, a lot more of it, bigger, louder and even better looking. Even to a complete novice like myself, driving feels a lot closer to real life. The weight of the cars and their grip on the road during brake maneuvers. It is insane that they managed to put this level of realism into a game released in 2005. Can't even begin to imagine what work was put in collecting the data for this precision. Or, as Jeremy Clarkson of Top Gear fame tells it in his oh so very British statement, this game would only be more realistic if a big spike shoot out of the screen and screw at your head every time you crashed. I guess that is high praise over there. This game's opening is somehow even more high class. Blinding lights to angel-like opera music, while the camera seductively captures the car. The transition to butt rock will never not crack me up though. When I said the menus reminded me of old GPS icons, I hadn't seen this design. It feels like I'm trapped in an old dashboard you had to update via the company website to get the most out-of-date maps known to man. At least the cursor snaps to the sub-menus, my biggest pet peeve with modern Destiny-like UI. If I want to use a mouse, I will, thank you. Anyways, let's start out with the Mitsubishi Mirage Cyborg CR97. It might not be a powerhouse, but well, it gets you there. If I decided to continue playing, I'd for sure would choose 4. Not only am I winning races for once, the driving parts just feels much nicer. It even made me try out different cars on tracks, like this Audi A5. It saddens me to say, but the Mirage just can't compete. Dirty off-road tracks and forest roads offer a completely new experience with cars you thought you mastered, until it breaks out like no tomorrow. If that is still not enough for you, the developers added things like Formula GT, a B-spec mode putting the player in the place of a racing car team leader, telling your AI driver how to drive, driving missions, and a photo mode, and. It's not like this is all. Thanks to a dedicated community, through the power of emulation and modding, the possibilities to enjoy Gran Turismo 3 and 4 are endless. In a simple YouTube search, I found a 4K graphics mod, lightning shaders, and even newly added vehicles for you to try. I'm sure that's only the tip of the iceberg. While it is not my kind of game, you gotta love how enthusiastic the developers and fans alike are about these classics. Maybe in our strive for more and more realism in our racing sims, from time to time, it would be good to check the rear view mirror to see what paved the road to get there.